Rod Macbeth and the Tri-City Morning Show.
With me is Andy Watson. You are involved with the World Under-19 Lacrosse Championships here that are happening at Couquitlam at Town Center Park. They kick off tomorrow night, Thursday. How's it going, Andy?
Doing really well. Thanks for having me on.
Are you going crazy yet?
You know, it's a labor of love, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone involved with this tournament. We've got over 200 volunteers and a very hardworking committee, 14 teams from around the world coming to Couquitlam. It's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be the largest ever World Junior Field Lacrosse tournament. And I think it's just a testament to the growth of the game worldwide. And it's something that we're obviously excited to be part of hosting and obviously excited to be able to be part of a watershed moment for the sport of lacrosse.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time we've done this. We did this just a few years ago, didn't we?
Yeah, in 2008, the World Field Lacrosse Championships were in Couquitlam. It was a smaller tournament in terms of the number of teams, but it's still a very critical tournament for the growth of the game. And this time round, you will see some new teams. You're going to see 3 new teams from Asia, so Hong Kong, China, and Taiwan. And they're all relative newcomers to the sport of lacrosse at the international level. We're also going to see Ireland, Israel, and Mexico. And, you know, for anyone that's been involved in the sport or is aware of the sport, you know, you don't think of how much the game has grown worldwide. We're sort of insulated here in Canada with the box and field games. And I think only recently in the last, 5 years have we really seen the game take off with 54 nations playing worldwide. And this will be pretty cool. I think Canadian fans are going to see different styles. They're going to be able to see some different countries and see how they apply the love of the game and just see some players and that they've never heard of before. And hopefully they'll become names that they remember for years to come.
Indeed. And now there's 3 different tiering levels here, right? There's the red, the blue, and the green or something like that. Or how does it work again?
So there are 3 divisions, but at the end of the day, any of these teams could come away with the world title.
Oh, wow.
The blue division is a 5-team division, and those are teams that finished at the top in the 2012 tournament in Turku, Finland. And so that's Canada, the United States, the Iroquois Nationals, England, and Australia. So they're the 5 teams on paper who everyone's sort of expecting will compete for the title. But we have some other teams that would beg to differ. There's the German team that consistently just finds a way to be involved and be competitive in every game. We've got Israel, which has a really good development program, both in Israel and in terms of recruiting players from upstate New York and from the New Jersey area. And what they've been able to do in Israel and grow the game in that country is pretty fantastic. And just the leaps and bounds they've had in the last 4 to 6 years, I think they could be a dark horse that maybe teams might underestimate. And then you never know with teams Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Ireland being new to the tournament, Scotland a returning team. There's going to be some really good parity in this tournament, and I think there's going to be a lot of upsets.
There very well could be. We talked to some of the Mexican boys the other night. We saw them over at Port Couquitlam at one of the Saints lacrosse games, the Junior A game, and we're actually pulling for Mexico after talking to these young guys. We want them to kick Germany's butt.
And you look at Mexico as such a great example. This is a country that 8 years ago, really lacrosse, you would be so shocked to see it anywhere in the country, and now the growth of the game. And I think you can attribute a lot of this to, social media and the fact that TV is covering lacrosse a little bit more consistently. Now people are being exposed to it, and you take Mexico, for example, and you look at how much the game's growing there, and this is their first world championship, but this is a hungry team, an athletic team, and what they may lack in the fundamental skill that we've become accustomed to seeing at the top tier, they make up for in heart. And I heard that they've had a pretty good time here so far. They've played some pretty fun exhibition games, including one against a Maple Ridge team the other night. And I think that they're gonna be a crowd favorite, and I expect that they'll probably be they'll be back in future tournaments as well.
Yeah, indeed. And we have a guy that actually did a little bit of coaching with my kids' team, Jeff Gombar. He was involved with Team Canada, and he was actually part of that team that actually won the world against the United States. The United States, a big powerhouse, and Canada, a force to be reckoned with. That's going to be a great game, and that goes on Thursday night, right?
That's correct. And so 7:30 is the opening face-off for that first game of the tournament. We'd love if fans could come down for the opening ceremonies, be able to cheer on the teams that are coming here. All 14 teams will be walking into the stadium. That'll be a really cool moment. In Canada, Canada is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I know that they're hungry, but the United States was not happy in 2014 when Canada defeated them in Denver. And I'm sure you heard from Jeff and you've heard from anyone in the lacrosse circles. They weren't happy when their women's team or their girls, their 19 team lost to Canada either. They've been preparing very hard. I actually ran into some of the players in Surrey today, and they're hungry. They're determined, and they will give Canada a run for their money. But I think this is anyone's tournament to win. I think that the parity of the game is so much better. We've got 11 BC kids competing for different teams, 4 for Team Canada, including some local kids. You've got Ryland Reese from Port Coquitlam and Thomas Semple from Coquitlam. And then Team China, Germany, Hong Kong, and the Iroquois also have BC players representing them. A couple of BC officials, a BC referee-in-chief. It's really BC loving as the world comes to Couquitlam.
Indeed, and the neat thing here is the kid that's playing for the Iroquois Nation is out of Squamish. He had this fantastic, I don't remember what it was called, when it was, but one of the tournaments, he sort of ran his way through like a running back and a behind the back goal, and it was just phenomenal to watch in video. And I imagine we'll see a lot of stuff like this at the tournament.
Yeah, and I think what you'll see too is that the game is really grown at the youth level as well, and part of that are the tournaments that happen like the ones that we're hosting in conjunction. There's an under 15 boys and an under 19 girls tournament happening in conjunction with the World Championship. Kids are getting exposed to elite competition at an earlier level, so you're going to see more of the highlight reel style plays because these are the very best kids. I call them kids. They're under 19. Some of these guys are twice my size. So
yep.
The talent's going to be there. And I think the coaching, too, has come to a new level. Video has really helped teams to be able to break down film and be able to assess what they need to do. Kids are playing lacrosse year-round, and it's wonderful to see the growth of the game. And we hope that this tournament will spur other people to be interested and involved, and hoping that the world really enjoys this and remembers this for years to come.
Indeed, and now this all happens at Town Center Park. It is probably one of the prettiest areas to go see a game like this. It's got the artificial turf. It's got a covered area in case it does rain, and the turf itself is great.
Yeah, and it's such a nice backdrop. I mean, for those of us that are living here in BC, we're spoiled with the backdrop that we see all the time. But for teams coming in, I know one of the first things that they'll comment on is going to be seeing the mountains in the background as they walk onto the field. Affordability for fans, you can't really go wrong. $25 for a day pass, and that gets you in all the games for the day. $20 for youth. All the information is at 2016worldlacrosse.com. And we're really just excited to see what happens. And hopefully this is probably some of the best lacrosse anyone will see in their life. I got to be biased here, but I'm rooting for Team Canada. I'd love to see them continue on with their winning ways. And they've got a great group of people that are working with them. And, we'd love to see them win on home soil.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. It'd be nice to see that. We actually, my kid and I had our discussion. We picked Scotland in the bottom one, we picked Mexico in the next one, and we picked Canada in ours. So those are our 3 favorites right now.
That's the best part because you're going to have so much different, there's going to be different teams that are going to have different followings, and it's just going to be really cool to see how people get on board and support the different teams that are coming in here. It should be a lot of fun, and we just pray for good weather now, and if it rains, well, so be it. Lacrosse in the rain is just as entertaining as lacrosse in the sun.
That's right. Now, if we're going to go down and watch this, do we bring like cowbells or horns? Like, you go to different events, and each event is known for its noisemakers. What kind of noisemaker do we bring besides our mouth?
You know what? With parents coming to represent different teams, I think you're going to see noisemakers of all sorts of type. Cowbells, those plastic clappers, your voices, whatever it is that will help to cheer on the players as they compete for the world title. We encourage you to bring that with you. Just no air horns.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Andy. We will talk to you, I guess, this weekend over at the World Champion Lacrosse, the Under-19 over at Town Center Park. Thanks for your time today.
looking forward to it. Thank you.
Weekdays starting at 6 a.m. The Tri-City Morning Show. Expect more from your radio. CKPM FM 98.7.